My name's Charley Mathews. I'm a rice grower from Marysville, California. I've been growing rice for 24 years now and thoroughly enjoy it. I'm in the upper Sacramento Valley, which is considered Northern California, right at the foothills of the Sierras. Our water all comes snowmelt out of the Sierra Mountains. We're in an area that's been growing rice for almost 100 years. Rice requires a special type of soil. We don't grow other types of crops because of the poor soil quality. But it does very well in the Sacramento Valley. Well, Mother Nature is the biggest risk of all, I think. California has its own set of challenges, of course. This year, our biggest one is drought. Of course, we've had very little rainfall the last couple of years. It's really kind of changed the dynamic for agriculture all over California. We are fortunate being in Northern California. We typically have more water supplies for rice. So this year we were just starting to plant our crop and don't have quite full supplies, but we're fairly close. I think the first year I used crop insurance, it was actually required by the farm program, and it was just catastrophic insurance. And in California rice production, we have very good sunshine, we have great weather. The risk is always small to yield. Occasionally we get some cold weather that can affect things. Our markets are probably our biggest challenge. But it was pointed out to me about 5 years ago by my banker. And he said, you need to look into crop insurance because your investment in what you do is becoming so much greater because of cost increases. You need to protect against that, even though your likelihood of failure is not 100%, but it's always there. And that's when I started seeing the cost to protect those acres and the acre investment, and it became a regular habit, and every year. And it was well worth it because what I would pay for crop insurance could protect my entire credit line. And I thought that was a great idea. Not yet, and hopefully I don't need to, but I can sure sleep well at night when rice is growing out there and the world and the weather are constantly changing. No, I kind of farm on my own. I started out in a family farm on my own. I rent my ground. It's a very competitive business, of course, and every year is different, which keeps it interesting. But it's expensive, and you pour your whole heart and soul into this thing every year. And a farmer is always the eternal optimist, where you want to make enough money to get to the next year. And crop insurance provides that extra level of protection to get you there. I mean, we have to convince people who live in urban areas where and how food is produced, where it comes from. And for me as a farmer, I have to have something that is consistent every year, that I can get through the good years, get through the bad years. Because farming is about, it's a career of averages. I have good years, I have bad years, and I make my living off the average of all those. And so it used to be, when I started, there was a farm bill, and there was tremendous government support with direct payments and all these things, and loan rates and target prices, all that. They would provide a minimum level of support to make sure I got through every year. And as we saw, the same questions come from people in urban areas. Why do we spend money on farm programs, things like that? Over time, those have gone away. And so this year is actually our first year without any type of direct support. We do have a basic safety net still in place, but crop insurance provides that one extra little step to help us. Because I mean, it's all about getting me to the next year. And it's no different than I have to insure my vehicles, my house for fire, flood, earthquakes, things like that. You have to be ready for those years that you don't expect bad things to happen. And I mean, a guy that farms corn in the Midwest or a guy that farms rice in California, we're very similar. We have the same set of challenges. And what it comes from is that question of not understanding the food production and supply system and how critical it is to keep these people in business. Because now it's 1% of the population producing the food for everybody. And it's a global thing. I mean, if there's a shortage or a drought in some other parts of the country, it impacts us. So they have to understand why it's important to protect basic food production. In California rice, a little different. We have irrigated agriculture. We're not dependent on rainfall like a corn grower is in south central Illinois. So our risk is a lot lower, but it's never zero. There's always something there that can impact you. And I've watched a lot of people go bankrupt and broke for bad planning decisions or bad weather and not protecting themselves. And it's like, I don't want to be a victim. The crop insurance in California rice is fairly new to a lot of folks. We've had a pretty successful, reliable system of production, but it's gotten very expensive, and small changes around the world impact us greatly. And so now it's time to us, like any other business, you look for risk protection. So this has become a valuable tool. Hopefully I'll never have to use it, but I know that I can get through the tough years.